Have you ever looked at a blanket of fresh snow and thought it was pure magic? It's beautiful, for sure, but what you're really seeing is pure science. Ever wondered how simple water, the same stuff you drink every day, transforms into millions of intricate, delicate ice crystals falling from the sky? It's a fascinating journey that starts high above our heads. So let's break it down and uncover the secrets behind winter's most famous creation. Welcome back to Understanding the World. Today, we're diving into the amazing process of how water becomes snow. We'll explore what gives snowflakes their incredible shapes and finally answer that age-old question: is it true that no two snowflakes are ever exactly the same? Stick around because you'll see the weather in a whole new light after this. Our story begins way up in the clouds, but not with raindrops. It starts with something you can't even see: water vapor, which is just water in its gas form. When the temperature in the clouds drops below 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, a really cool thing happens. This invisible water vapor doesn't turn into liquid first. It skips its step entirely and freezes directly onto tiny particles floating in the air, like a speck of dust or a grain of pollen. This process is called deposition, where a gas turns straight into a solid. These first tiny ice crystals are the seeds of every snowflake that will ever fall. They're like baby snowflakes, just getting started on their long journey down to Earth. It's a transformation that happens in an instant, turning invisible gas into the very first solid piece of a snowflake. As this tiny ice crystal begins to fall through the cloud, it's like a rolling snowball, but for water vapor. It keeps collecting more and more vapor, which freezes onto its surface, causing it to grow. This is where the magic really happens. The shape it takes isn't random. It's determined by the exact temperature and the amount of moisture, or humidity, in the air around it. In very cold, dry air, the crystal grows into simple, elegant shapes like long, thin needles or small, hexagonal plates. But if it falls through slightly warmer, moister air, it develops those classic, complex branches we all love to draw, creating an intricate, star-like pattern. Because each crystal takes a slightly different path through the cloud, encountering constantly changing temperatures and humidity levels, each one grows in a completely unique way. That's why it's true the chances of two snowflakes being exactly alike are astronomically small. Now, just because a snowflake forms doesn't guarantee a white winter wonderland. Its journey to the ground is the final test. For you to be able to build a snowman, the air temperature must stay at or below freezing all the way from the cloud to the ground. If the snowflake travels through a layer of air that's above freezing, it starts to melt. If it melts completely, it lands as a simple raindrop. If it melts a little and then refreezes as it gets closer to the colder ground, it might land as sleet. So a snowy day requires a continuous column of cold air, a perfect corridor for these delicate crystals to complete their journey untouched. Have you ever stopped to think about why snow looks white? After all, it's just frozen water, and ice is transparent, right? You could see right through an ice cube. The secret is in the structure. A blanket of snow isn't one solid block of ice. It's made up of billions and billions of individual ice crystals, all jumbled together with air trapped between them. When sunlight hits the snow, it doesn't just pass through. Instead, the light bounces and scatters off the countless surfaces of all those tiny crystals. This scattering effect reflects all the colors of the light spectrum equally. When our eyes perceive all colors of light being reflected at once, we see it as pure, brilliant white. And here's a fun fact to share with your friends this winter. Well, we might think of snow as just ... Well, scientists who study this stuff have actually identified over 35 different basic types of snow crystals. They're not all those perfect six-sided stars you see on holiday decorations. Depending on the conditions they form in, they can look like tiny columns, sharp needles, hollow prisms, or even triangular crystals. Each one is a tiny, frozen work of geometric art, all created by nature from just water and cold air. It's a reminder that even in the coldest weather, There's an incredible amount of complexity and beauty to be found if you just look closely enough. So the next time you're outside on a snowy day and you catch a delicate snowflake on your glove, take a moment to really look at it. Remember that its incredible journey began as invisible water vapor high up in the atmosphere. It traveled through shifting temperatures, growing into a one-of-a-kind crystal before finally landing right there in front of you. What's your favorite kind of winter weather? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed learning about the science of snow, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Understanding the World for more simple science explained clearly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.